Hello, it's here, and welcome to my review of the Super Action statue, Bruno Bucciarati from Jojo Part 5. And man, what a fantastic fucking figure. This thing is damn near perfect, man. Such a great figure of such a great character. But before we get into this beautiful figure, let's take a quick look at the box here. So here is the box. You got Bruno Bucciarati, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Medicos, and then you have all of your nice product shots right there. There's all of your accessories that the figure comes with. There's all your nice poses that they give you, and the approved by Shueisha sticker right there, as well as that same picture right there. Nothing too crazy on these boxes, but very nice figure, man. They did an excellent job with this figure. And starting off with his weird-ass hair and his weird-ass face. My goodness, he has got a weird haircut, but man, they did a great job on this. I will say that this figure, it is blue. I don't mind the blue, but I believe in the anime it was black. Maybe in the manga it was blue. But if you want the black hair, they have a black Bruno Bucciarati figure, which I don't know where that color scheme comes from, but he has black hair on that one. So if you want that, you can pick that one up and head swap them, which I do plan on doing eventually, probably, because I definitely would prefer to have the black hair. Not anytime soon. I would definitely rather get sticky fingers and all that first, but still a beautifully done head sculpt right here. So there's nice blue on the eyes right there, some gold in the hair, and then you got his lips done, and it's just perfect. I mean, it looks absolutely perfect. And then you've got his collar right there, and I do think maybe his head might be a little bit high, but I think it's to facilitate the design of having the collar right there, because that was probably just the way they had to do it. And on the shelf, I don't think it looks bad. You can't really notice any like weird proportion problems with the head and the neck right there. It looks great on the shelf. And then you move down to the torso. Of course, you got his tattoo right there on the torso, and then all the various zippers hanging off him looking great, and then the pattern as well looking awesome. That little gold button in the middle right there. He just looks fucking fantastic, man. I love all of these zippers going all around. There's one right there, and then all the little black spots right there. I forget exactly what his clothes are based on. I think it's a Gucci magazine that his clothes are based on. I don't know. You have to look into that, but they are based on some kind of fashion magazine for sure. I think it's something that like a celebrity wore one time, but it's a really awesome looking outfit. I've always loved his design, man. Just so crazy. And he has one of my favorite stands in all of JoJo, so I can't wait to get a stand to go with him. And yeah, Medicos just knocked it out of the park with this figure. Really terrific. Talking about the articulation, I do think it's a little bit, there is a few things to go over here. One, so he's got a basic head right there. You can move, you can look up, you can look and look around. He's got a little bit of tilt, and then there is another ball joint at the base of the neck right there as well, which you can use to get some movement right there. This head, obviously the heads come off easily on these just to make it easier to switch them, so I don't have a problem with that, but you can't get a ton of movement in the head, but it's probably just because of the sculpt of the way the character is that you kind of have a hard time positioning this head ball joint around, because he's got all that extra that extra sculpting on the neck collar right there, but it's still pretty darn nice. And then you have a ball joint right here in the torso, and I love the Part 5 figures, because the Part 5 figures are always really well toleranced. I didn't review him, but I recently got my boy Caesar, and he's got a really loose torso, see? It's like super loose, like it doesn't even want to like stay up on its own. It's bad. I don't like it. I do like the figure, but I don't like that. But the Part 5 and the Part 6 figures, really well toleranced. I really like that about the Part 5 and the Part 6 figure. So that's awesome. And then you have, I think, another ball joint at this section right here. Yeah, I do think it is a ball joint. It's just kind of restricted because of the sculpting. And then of course you have the arms right there that can move, and the elbow pad right there. And I think you can almost get full double jointed bend, just a little bit less. This is one of the points I did want to bring up. A little bit less than double jointed elbows, but I think you can get enough to get him in some very expressive poses right there. I feel like this is enough to give it a pass right there. So I think that's really good. But one problem I do have with his legs is that his legs are a little bit goofy, and you can't cross his legs at all, which I really like about some of the figures in this. Like I didn't check on, yeah, you can kind of cross the legs on Caesar right there, which is always really nice to get them in sculpting. But here, the way the legs are sculpted and the way the legs are articulated right there, you can't cross his legs at all. You can't get them like closer together than this, unless you like turn them like that, I guess, and then you can do that, but it kind of looks a little bit awkward at the top there, so you can do that, but it does look a little bit awkward at the top there, so I don't like that about the legs. So the legs are a little bit hindered, not too bad though, they still do perfectly fine. And then of course you do have double jointed bends right there at the knees, which I personally think that's plenty of double jointed bend right there. And then you have your feet, and you can go up, down, and a little bit of pivot and a little bit of swivel right there, and the toe joint right there. So overall, I think they're articulation is pretty good, just a few things. It just falls short in a very few little minor little parts. Just the legs are a little bit hard to pose around and make them and get them in the pose that you want them in. And also the double jointed elbows are a little bit hindered. Not that you can't quite get the full double jointed bend. But aside from that, I think the articulation is pretty darn workable. And I mean, he just looks so damn good. And for comparison, of course, here he is with his BFF, and they look really, really great together. I do think the scale here is perfect. I do believe Bruno was a little bit taller than Giorno, so yeah, I think they just look absolutely perfect together. Like, I almost feel like if you don't have one, the other one's not gonna look as good on the shelf. And of course, once we get Sticky Fingers and Gold Experience in here, that'll also definitely help as well. But they look so damn good together. I mean, look at them, man. They were made to be put together. And then so actually how he looks with some other Joe bros. Here is Hermes, and here is Caesar, my boy Caesar. So see how he looks with some other Joe bros right there. He does have kind of a hard time standing up. Of course, you would get the stand with him. I just don't like to use the stands with these figures. I just feel like they can stand up on their own. There we go, Joe Bros unite. I haven't reviewed Hermes or Caesar yet. I might. Hermes is really great. Caesar, like I said, he has got some problems, that loose torso. I don't like that, but aside from that, he's great. But yeah, Hermes is great, so I might review her. But I do think Bruno not only is definitely my favorite Joe Bro I've collected so far, but I think he's one of my favorite Super Action statues I've collected, period. I think he's just really, really, really great, man. And here he also is with the Figma Denji as well, which I actually think this scale is also pretty darn good. I feel like these are in perfect scale right here, so there you go. But I always like to, he's just such a great figure, man. I always like to show the Figma Denji with figures. He's just great. I just love that thing, man. And with that, let's get into the accessories. But before we do, I might actually just start doing this on my Super Action statue reviews, is because since my review station, they don't really like to stand up on them, I'll probably just like put them on their stand right there just so we'll stop falling off. But yeah, the stand's included as always. You don't need me to tell you that. But going over the accessories, first off, you get a very awesome alternate Sticky Fingers head right here, and this looks great. Very, very nicely done. I think this is better than their usual screaming faces. I think this is really good. I mean, it's definitely very important to get the screaming face right with Bruno because, of course, he's got a Sticky Fingers. So pop that off, pop that on, goes right on, and I think it looks really, really great. Yeah, top tier. I definitely can't wait to get Sticky Fingers to go with him, man. So love that. I love how easy it is to switch the heads on these figures, man. It literally takes me like less than a second to do. And then next up, we get our alternate hands right here. So the ones I have on right now, these are alternate ones, but they're pretty cool, expressive hands right here. I just love how they include all these expressive hands for Super Action statues. But in the package, he, of course, comes with 2 fists right here, which is fine. I mean, obviously, I'll always love fists. We've got some relaxed hands, which you guys know how much I love my relaxed hands right there, and these are super duper easy to change off as well. I think the part 5 and the part 6s are bar none the best Super Action statues. They are just fantastic. Just top to bottom, through and through, they're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, but yeah, you get all those hands. You also get this pointing hand right there so he can Sticky Fingers. And you also get this one right here, which it looks to be like a teacup hand. So maybe you could have him hold the teacup that Giorno came with, which would be pretty darn cool. But yeah, that's a nice accessory as well. And then you also get this little accessory right here. And this is to make it so you can take like Giorno here and you can pop off one of his hands. And then you pop this onto the joint, and you can do this with just about all of your Super Action statues. You pop this onto the joint right there, put the hand back on, and then it looks like his hand has been zipped back on with Sticky Fingers. See right there? So that's pretty darn cool. This would be super good to use with like Trish or Abacchio or Giorno. I think it works with Giorno as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can just put that on him like that, and it looks like his hand has been zippered back on with Sticky Fingers, which I think is a pretty darn cool accessory that they included. And you can put it on Bruno if you want as well, which is also very cool. All right, but these last couple accessories that Bruno comes with, this is the cool stuff. So you get this absolutely awesome zipper accessory right here. And what you do with this is you take your stand or one of your extra stands, and you can plug the zipper right there, and you can have this behind Bruno just like that. So it looks like he just came out of that. Or if you wanted to, I'm sure you could probably like I don't know, it doesn't really fit, but I mean, if you had enough perseverance, yeah, you could have him like peek out the wall right there, like, hang on. Hey, what you guys doing in here? So yeah, you can have some fun with that for sure. Or hell, you can have him reaching his arm through right there, going through a wall or something. Like, this is just a really cool, really versatile accessory. And I really like that they include this, especially if you have sticky fingers as well to go on this side. That would look absolutely awesome. And then the final accessory you get, this is also a really cool accessory you get the head of Mario Zucchero right here, which of course is the victim of the torture dance. So this is, of course, from the scene when this guy attacks them, and then he zips his head off, and they hang it from the boat, and then they let the sun burn his eyeballs, his corneas, and then they torture dance. You know it, you've seen it. Glorious, infamous scene, and this is a really cool accessory you got. I will say that the head is really loose on this. I don't really like that about it, but you can see the zipper right there, where his head's been zipped off right there, and of course the weird haircut that he's got. I think it was green in the anime, but I'm okay with this. This is a cool accessory to just put on the shelf right there. The zipper mouth right there, and you can see the little snot in his nose right there. Yeah, this is a cool little accessory. I like this. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably pop this on his head, but I'm not gonna do that. But this is still a cool accessory to include, especially if you get like Narancha and Fugo and Mista and all them. Very cool accessory. And yeah, that is it. So not the most accessories, not the craziest and most exciting super action statue, but I personally, getting into my final thoughts on the super action statue Bruno Bucciarati, I honestly think it's great. I think this is a really, really great super action statue, and if you haven't picked it up, I would definitely recommend it, especially to go with your Giorno or the rest of your Part 5 gang right there. Or I didn't even show, hang on one second. Totally forgot to show him with the Bossu right here. So there he is with him as well. Now Divolo is crunched over a little bit, so he is going to be a little bit taller than Bruno, but still, they still look really, really great together. So here's the full Part 5 gang so far from what I have collected. Very, very exciting. I love Part 5, so I'll definitely be getting more characters from Part 5, but I'm really happy with this collection I've got right now. But I think the next Part 5 figure I get will probably be Sticky Fingers, actually, because it's one of my favorite stands, or Golden Experience. I would totally be down to get Gold Experience as well. But yeah, I think this figure's great. Aside from the tiny little articulation problems in the legs and the arms, which are really, really minute problems, they're not a big deal. And I guess the blue hair as well. I don't love the blue hair, but aside from those issues, which the blue hair is fixable as well, I think this thing deserves an S. I think it's a really, really top tier figure. I love it. It's one of my favorite super action statues easily. And I think these accessories are great. I love that you get the Mario Zucchero head. That's an awesome accessory. And then this thing right here is just awesome. I think this thing speaks for itself. And of course, if you wanted to, I didn't even show this, you could like have it like angled like this, have it like up there, and then have like the zipper just dangling down right there, which is really, really cool. You can't zip this up though, by the way. I'm sure you guys probably knew that, but you can't zip that up. But still, such a cool accessory right there. So I think this is a top tier super action statue, and I think every single collection should definitely have him in there. Alrighty, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give me a like and subscribe for some more JoJo super action statue reviews in the future. And with that being said, this is DK Guillotine, signing out. Sticky Fingers!